to your Cohesion classroom. In this lesson, we will take a look at how to solve multiplication comparison problems. At the end of this video, you will have access to our tips and takeaways, allowing you to focus on the content being presented. You can always access any of our tips and takeaways from the lesson page before or after watching the lesson. In this lesson, students will work with multiplication comparisons. Bar models can be used as visual support to understand why the multiplication comparison works. This will help students to write and solve multiplication equations. Let's take a look at how to use a bar model to help solve a multiplication comparison problem now. The problem says, Shelley made 24 cookies for the class party. This is 3 times as many as Cody made. How many cookies did Cody make? In this problem, I know that Shelley made 24 cookies total, but that isn't what the question is asking me. It's asking me how many cookies Cody made. Since the amount of cookies that Cody made is unknown, I am going to draw a model to help figure it out. I'm going to begin by drawing one box to represent Cody's cookies. I will put an N inside this box to stand for the unknown amount of cookies. N is commonly used in algebra to represent an unknown, but a C could be used to represent cookies, or the box could even be left blank. As long as a number is not put in the box, the important fact remains, that the amount is unknown at this time. I'm going to write Cody's name to the left of the box to represent that these are Cody's cookies. The problem tells me that Shelley made 3 times as many as Cody, so I'm going to make 3 boxes. Each box the same size as Cody's one, since they represent the same amount, and put them right above Cody's. Just as with his, I will write Shelley off to the left to remind myself that these represent her cookies. I'm going to put an N in each box to again signify the amount of cookies is unknown. With Shelley's group of cookies, I need to put a bracket above the 3 boxes and label it 24, because this is the total number of cookies Shelley made for the party. Please notice that we made this model with given information from the question. We haven't had to calculate yet. Being able to take the information in the question and create a model can be difficult for students. Now that everything is drawn, I can begin to solve the problem. I can write an equation to show that Shelley has 24 cookies shared equally between 3 boxes. 24, the amount of cookies Shelley made, equals 3, the amount of boxes or groups, times N, the unknown amount of cookies in each group. Now I must ask myself, 3 times what number equals 24? 8, so the value of N is 8. To check my work, I will plug 8 into each box. If Shelley had 3 groups of 8, 3 times 8 equals 24. This is correct as the problem told us this is how many Shelley made for the whole party. There is also an 8 in Cody's box. I know this is correct because the problem told me Shelley made 3 times as many as Cody, and as we just discovered, 3 times 8 equals 24. Now I can answer my question. Cody made 8 cookies. We have just used comparisons to solve a multiplication problem. This can be a difficult concept for students, as they lack experience with using given information in the question to set up a model. We mention this to prepare you. Like anything else, practice makes perfect, and encourage students to think about what they're doing and give them opportunities to explain their thinking. The problem says, Cooper is a Yorkie that weighs 7 pounds. Charlie, an Australian Shepherd mix, weighs 6 times as many pounds as Cooper. How many pounds does Charlie weigh? I'm going to begin by simply taking the given information in the question and creating my model. This will give me the best chance to use this information to answer the question. I will label my first row Cooper and draw one box to represent the 7 pounds Cooper weighs. I am not going to put a letter or leave the box blank this time, as it is not unknown. I will go ahead and put a 7 in the box, as I know that Cooper weighs 7 pounds. On the second row, I'm going to write the name Charlie and draw 6 boxes to represent that Charlie weighs 6 times as many pounds as Cooper. Again, notice I am simply using given information to create my model. In each box, I will write the number 7 because the question says Charlie weighs 6 times the amount of Cooper's weight, which is 7 pounds. This bar now reflects 6 times Cooper's weight of 7 pounds. Now that we have set up our model, we can use it to answer the question. or solve for the unknown amount. In this case, the question was asking for Charlie's weight. Looking at the model, we see Charlie's weight can be found by multiplying 7 6 times, or 7 times 6. 7 times 6 equals 42. Therefore, Charlie weighs 42 pounds. Again, this concept can be difficult for students, but when you boil it down to basics, the question states Charlie weighs 6 times as many pounds as Cooper. Our model clearly shows Charlie's weight being 6 times as much as Cooper. You might be thinking, why can't I just multiply 6 times 7 and skip the model? In this case, you could have gotten away with that, but it won't always work. Sometimes questions will ask for different information from the model, like how much more does Charlie weigh than Cooper? Students need practice setting up models to represent comparison problems like this. Students must be careful to answer the correct question. Often, they will create the correct model, but answer a different question. Refer back to the question one last time to make sure that you have answered it. Now that we have solved multiplication comparisons with bar models, let's take a look at how that translates in a comparison sentence. Students may only see a multiplication equation, like the one we just created, 6 times 7 equals 42, and be asked to write a comparison sentence. When asked to fill in the blanks to complete a comparison sentence, students should remember that the equal symbol can be represented with the word is, and that the multiplication symbol can be represented with the phrase times as many as. The numbers in the equation should stay in the same location, and the symbols are replaced with words or phrases. So again, 6 times 7 equals 42 would be written as 6 times as many as 7 is 42. This is how we turn an equation into a comparison sentence. Voiceover 3.2. Students may see the opposite of this as well. They may be asked to write an equation from a comparison sentence, as seen here. This comparison sentence says 24 is 3 times as many as 8. Again, students should keep the numbers the same and replace the is with an equal symbol and replace as many times as with a multiplication symbol. Let's give it a try. Bring 24 down, write an equal symbol for the is, bring the 3 down, replace times as many as with a multiplication symbol, and then bring the 8 down. So this comparison sentence can be written as the equation 24 equals 3 times 8. Knowledge of multiplication facts would be very useful for this, because many students will immediately recognize the corresponding multiplication fact when they read the comparison sentence. For instance, 24 is 3 times as many as 8 sounds very similar to 24 equals 3 times 8. In multiplication comparison problems, students often confuse what is being asked. They may solve for part of the problem when being asked for the total number, or vice versa. Have students underline the question to focus directly on what information is being asked for. Have students draw a bar model to help visualize the problem before answering the question. Another issue comes when creating the bar model. Students flip-flop the numbers in the boxes and the number of boxes. Though the answer may work out to be correct, the model is still wrong. Again, coding the question will help to ensure the model is being drawn correctly. You see here, instead of correctly representing 2 times as many as 5, this model represents 5 times as many as 2. Now we can still calculate the correct amount of money Carlos has, but this is a major problem, because what if the question had asked how much more money does Carlos have than Justin? Now our different models are showing different answers, one correct and one not. Always encourage reading the question carefully to create the correct model. Create real-world situations where students can visually compare objects. Using money is always engaging for students. Ask them questions that will make them determine how much one person has and also how much there is total. Finally, to gain a full understanding of this concept, visit the lesson page to view the rest of the Strategies to Multiply by One-Digit Numbers set of lessons. Uniting students and families in learning, we are Cohesion Education. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.